Okay, there we go. That'll start. All right, there we go. All right. What is going on, Fandom Effect family? Uh, Cameron is here as always, as you can hear him lovely in the background here. But we're here with another live edition of the Fandom Effect podcast. I'm here joined as always by my, well, I would normally I'd say amazing co-host, but I just a guy, Devin. Devin, how's the? It's only been a couple of days, but how's everything been going for you?
It's going great. I don't know about our guests tonight, but we are getting a little bit of snow on our end in Michigan here. And you know what? I'm also super excited because our guest tonight is somebody that's had me really intrigued to get to know, and I had a few conversations over the phone with him, and so I'm excited to finally get to interview him and talk with him tonight.
Yeah, so our guest is Artie Hoffman, who is a master level psychic, medium, spiritual advisor for you're closing in on 3 decades here, Artie. So that's pretty impressive in this day and age to be able to have a career that spans that long. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. The energy of the universe, the energy of the world has been like a roller coaster ride for everybody. So I just try to stay living in Artie's world. And and how I do that is by not listening to the news because I just can't tolerate too much negativity. So
I know how that is.
I'm not into all the propaganda and all the other crap that goes on with all that.
Oh yeah, stuff. No, I'm with you on that.
So I just enjoy doing my own thing, and I help out one soul at a time. And I've been doing a lot of private readings over the phone. People call me up and I do FaceTime and I do phone readings. A lot of times people say, Artie, how can you do readings over the phone? Don't they have to be in person? And it's soul connecting to soul. When I hear the sound of your voice, I mean, a lot of times you could ask me about your loved one, whether they're living or not living, and it's just spirit to spirit. And I get the information from the spiritual world. They're the ones that are feeding me all the information. People think I know everything, and I don't know anything until the spiritual world starts sharing with me all the information. So it's about developing a relationship with the Holy Spirit, with the angels, with your loved ones who've crossed over, with my loved ones who crossed over. So it's like they all put their little piece of the pie together and they communicate to me, and it just works. And it's a very, very healing experience when I do readings for people. And whether it be giving direction in their life or talking about their love life, their financial world, or communicating to their deceased loved ones to give them that peace of mind that they're okay. And don't worry, it wasn't your fault. They were they were going anyway. Don't worry, it wasn't your fault. I should have done this. I should have done that. You shouldn't have done anything. Don't worry about it. You had no clue. But a lot of people choose to hold on to guilt because of their loved ones who died. I mean, listen, unless if you didn't shoot them with your gun, then don't feel guilty. What you should have, could have, if.
Yeah, in which case, if they're telling you they did that, that's probably
it. Gotten in that car accident,
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I would imagine if somebody who you're talking to tells you like, well, I killed them, and now I feel it's probably a different conversation than probably a normal reading would go.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I could actually maybe, one of the few times I could actually say when people should feel guilty, or feel bad, it's understanding if somebody was drunk or on drugs and they were driving, they killed someone. Yeah, that's a whole lot of guilt carried right there, and that's type of stuff that's very hard to forgive oneself. But, it's your choice to make healthy choices. You don't put yourself under those circumstances. So it's unfortunate when anything happens. But, when I do readings for people, I have told people circumstances in their life. I said, don't do this. Otherwise, you're going to get in an accident, or you're going to get a ticket, or, you're going to go to jail, or whatever. So there was an interesting reading that I did. I mean, I have thousands of stories, literally. But there was this one lady who walks into my place where I do readings. And as soon as she came into my place, she goes, Artie, I've been thinking about you for the last 2 years. And this lady had tattoos from head to toe. She had tattoos all over her body. And so I'm like flattered, not personally turned on, but I'm flattered that. And I said, why were you thinking about me for the last 2 years? Can you talk to my wife? Or, can you get her to feel that way about me? No. Since then divorced, but that's okay. So anyway, so she said to me, she said, you read for me here in your kitchen right here 2 years ago. And as soon
Wow.
as you held my hand, you started singing to me the song by AC/DC, Highway to Hell. I'm going to Highway to Hell.
Such a good song.
Yeah, great way to start a conversation. To
Bro,
start
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
right?
say, especially with a medium or psychic like yourself.
So I looked at her and I said to her, you're doing something right now you should not be doing. I said, and if you don't stop what you're doing, like ASAP soon, you're going to get caught and you're going to get thrown in jail. And she said, well, she goes, after that reading, she goes, a week later, I didn't listen to you. I started doing something I should not be doing. And I got caught and I ended up going to jail for 2 years.
Wow.
And every day I woke up and I asked myself, why didn't I listen to Artie? Why didn't I listen to Artie? And, so I do give people heads up advice on what's what, and, but again, it has to come to me. It has to come to me. People could ask me questions and I could tell you the outcomes, but,
So
it just,
I don't know. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just wanted to double check. I don't know about how it's been lately, Artie, but the biggest question that when we asked our fans, like, what is something you would love to ask a psychic medium such as yourself? Like, what is the big thing? And everybody had said the same thing. What is going to be the outcome of 2020 or, or this presidential stuff? Like, everybody was so concerned about how the end of the year is going to end and how the United States will end up being and stuff like that. So have you been having a lot of questions around that lately?
let's talk about a happy subject.
Okay. So I have I can. Well, I guess we'll see how.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
How's that for a diplomatic answer? Let's talk about something happy.
Yeah. So is it is it usually that quick of a? You mentioned like she said you did a reading for her and that you started singing right away. Is it that instant? Like, is it typically you're able to get, like, whether it's over the phone or in person? Is it usually quick, or does sometimes you have to build a relationship?
No, it's instant. It's instant. I mean, there was a lady. I don't normally do past life regressions. You know what past life regression is? It's who you were in previous life before this lifetime.
Okay, I heard of that.
So I normally don't travel back in time for people and tell them who they were or what they did or what. I have done it, but it's not my forte, but I can do it. So, if you ask me, Art, who was I in the past life? I don't know. It'll just come to me. So what happened was really interesting is that a lady comes walking down the stairs. I was, reading for somebody in their finished basement. And we were doing what's known as an Artie party. A lot of people have Artie parties. So that's when I go to people's homes and I read for their friends and family individually. Sometimes people have groups where everyone's in the same room, but then a lot of times they just get read individually for like, a half hour each. So a lady comes walking downstairs and she's walking over towards me. And just as I was looking at her, as soon as she sat down, I said, in your previous life, I said, you walked off the plank of a ship and you drowned in the ocean. And that's how you died. You were forced to walk off the plank of a ship. And that's how you died. It's either that or you were thrown over and you died. And she goes, you want to know something? That perfectly makes sense. Because I said, I don't know why I was saying this or why I said that to her. I didn't know the understanding to it until she explained to me. She said, nothing happened to me in this lifetime. And she was probably in her 40s, this lady. She goes, absolutely nothing happened to me in this lifetime in regards to the ships or ocean. She goes, but I am deathly afraid of the ocean and ships. I will not go in the ocean. I will not go on a cruise ship or anything like that. And she never knew why, because nothing ever happened to her. But in her previous life, that's how she died. And she carried that memory in her subconscious. And that's what I saw.
That's intense. I actually I come from a background where my grandfather's grandmother was sent to live. Essentially, she was sent to live with gypsies and actually learned the tarot card reading. And so my mom and my grandmother and a lot of people they in my family are very into going to see people such as yourselves. Um, and they always feel that you are able to actually help us connect with a lot of the loved ones that we've had in in our past. And somebody such as yourself, yeah, are you able to help people fully, like, I guess, end their grieving um, with the people that they've lost really close to them?
Yeah, that's why I do what I do, because I help people overcome their obstacles. Um, I do when you give people understanding of why, or just to let them know that their loved ones in heaven are fine and they're safe, and that they're having the time of their life, and it's like Hawaii times 10 over on the other side. As far as how beautiful it is, and the comfort and the love is so intense and so beautiful on the other side. It's like once you touch the other side, you do not want to come back here. So everyone who has ever had a near death experience in this lifetime, and you're in that in between state, whether you go over to heaven or you stay here, nobody chooses to wanting to come back. Even if you have kids, it's like, oh no, I got to go back. No, it's like they want to stay over there in heaven because the love is so powerful and so strong, and you feel it. And you go, but I want to stay here. It's like, no, you're not finished yet. You got to go back. And then they go back into their painful body or their painful situation or whatever it is. And they go, ah, shit.
Wow. Eh, that's awesome. Well,
So,
do you now how did this all, I should say, how did this all start for you, like getting into reading people?
well, when I was 27 years old, I was very frustrated in my life. I had everything going right in my life too. Great friends, awesome job. I was married, nice home, vacation. I mean, everything you could possibly want, I had. And it was going smooth, but yet I was still unsatisfied inside myself. I knew there was more for me than other than what I was just doing. And you'll get a kick out of this. Back then and even now, I still own the same business, and it's called Peeping Tom's Window Cleaning. So anyway, my business was going really well, you know, and I'm having a conversation with God. I said, God, I need answers. I need clear answers. I said, please don't scare the hell out of me when you give me these answers. So anyway, after having chilling out by myself and having a little conversation with God, and so I go into my kitchen, and on the counter there was a bunch of junk mail. And I usually throw the junk mail out right away. I don't have patience for that. I just, if I see it, boom, 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 boom. But this time I was actually had time. I was looking through the junk mail, and there was a postcard, and it said, "How would you like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness? Come to the Edgar Casey Foundation in Virginia Beach for this one weekend seminar." So I asked my wife, who was my wife at the time, I said, "This looks really interesting." I said, "You want to go there with me?" I said, "It looks pretty interesting. I think I want to try this." And she goes, I don't give a crap about that. You can go if you want. I'm not interested." So I went there just for shits and giggles, just to see if I can do it. It's not like, oh, this is the answer to my prayers. I wasn't excited. It was just like curious.
Right.
So I went away for that one weekend, and they taught you how to open up your heart and mind to be 100% unconditional with your thoughts and with your energy. And so there's about 50 of us in this one large room. We're all sitting down, like, in a studio, in an auditorium type room. And then the leader, who was Edgar Casey's, I think, grandson, I think, and he was teaching the class. And so we were listening to what he had to say, and they play this Zen music and get you in that spiritual mode. And then they broke us up into groups, and they said, whoever you're with, just share your information with them and just tell them what you got. Even if it sounds stupid and if you don't understand what you're saying, still just share it with them. They'll probably understand, or they'll get it later. Well, a majority of the people were telling me I was pretty accurate with the feelings and what I was seeing with them. And I was like kind of blown out of the water. So I went home after the seminar and I got myself a deck of spiritual cards and I started reading for friends and family for a few years just for the hell of it. And again, people were telling me how accurate my reads were. I was like so excited, you know, and people were confirming like what I was saying was coming true. And to be honest with you, I felt like a little schoolboy just telling little one white lie after another white lie. Oh, how's this going to come out? How's that going to? And I just tell them whatever came up top of my head. I had no clue I was going to be right or wrong. I just created stories. But it just turned out that most of my stories were right on the money. So I got to a point in my life where I needed some extra cash for investment purposes. And so I threw an ad in the paper and it said, if I don't pull through, no charge. So 90% of the people paid me. And by word of mouth, it just took off like wildfire. And now it's 32 years later and I'm still reading people. And I've read for over 32,000 people.
Wow.
And I've been on major radio stations and TV networks, and you know, it's cool. I performed at casinos in Atlantic City in front of a group of people, and you know, read for people all around the country, around the world, and it just blows me away because the weird thing is, you know, I always wanted to become a therapist growing up as a kid, but I don't have patience for school. And I'm like a hard learner, you know? And so I said, you know, I'm not going to I wanted to become a therapist. I said, I'm not going to do that. And plus all those extra years of school and the money, it's like, I just didn't have it. And then here I am, all of a sudden I'm with this gift. And all of a sudden, you know, here I am, not only telling people predictions, but I'm literally like their psychic therapist. I can tell people what's going on inside them. Emotionally, on a deep emotional level. And I don't even always have to know what their problem is, but emotionally, when you have an understanding to the problem or to the situation, it gives you power and it changes your thought process about the relationship or about your job or about your finances or about how you're dealing with your life. And so when you have a really good, a deep understanding, I get right to the root of things. I don't ask you, well, oh, so how was your day? And what do you feel? And how do you feel about that? No, I get like right in it. And so a lot of times I have therapists who come see me for answers. And
Wow.
I didn't go to college. So, but I wrote a book called Angels and Answers, and you can get it on Amazon or you could get it on my website, artiehoffman.com. So I wrote a book called Angels and Answers. And in the book, it says I went to college for 2 years. I went to the University of Maryland in Boston for 2 years, but that was just to visit my friends.
So
Sorry about that, everybody. I had a little dad. I have to use the bathroom.
so
An emergency break.
So okay, so I think me and Devin were talking about this off the air because we were just kind of talking in general about like, you know, like general like overall format and stuff. And I was asking earlier like how quick like, so like if it's that instant for you, like be able to get reads off of people, like do you sense anything from me and Devin? Like we're really curious like how this works.
Yeah, with Devin, you're going to be taking over a situation where you're not liking the way things are being run. I'm not sure what it is, but it's like I don't know if it has to do with business or personal, but you're not liking the way things are being run. And you're just going to like take things under your wings and you're just going to like manhandle and just start doing what you know needs to be done because other people aren't pulling through. And I see you going through like a Tasmanian devil. And it's just like, you know, it's like, I don't care. It's almost like I don't even care about what anybody thinks because they're just not doing their job or they're not pulling through on their end. And you're going to say, this is not good enough for me. And this isn't the way it should be done. And you're just going to have I don't give a crap kind of attitude and just take over. But I don't know if this isn't happening now. That means it's going to happen.
that's That's crazy. Like, because me and Mark talk a lot about a lot of personal stuff, like outside of the podcast, and the stuff
Some
you're
stuff going on.
describing right now is like, wow. I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm like, Artie, are you listening on my phone right now? Like,
Well,
what's going on?
we had a conversation earlier because I got a lot of stuff going on, so I've been all over the place. So we've been, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So as far as with yourself, not Devin, but as far as with you, you're trying to be too passive with people, and you keep on giving them the benefit of the doubt, and you're trying to make nice, and they're kind of dragging their ass on things, and you keep going, okay, no, it's okay, and you're overly accommodating, and again, you're kind of putting yourself behind the 8 ball to try to accommodate other people, and half the time you don't mind, the other half the time you get really frustrated, but I just see you being just very patient, very nice, but yet you want things to happen faster than what they are, and a lot of times you say, I don't know what to tell these people. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to change their minds. I don't know what to, and it's like, you're like, all right, it's okay. And I just see you like petting and being nice, but you're doing that just to accommodate the moment. But inside you're feeling like very agitated. Does that make sense right now?
Yeah. I mean, I know what's going on in Mark's life, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on the nose with some stuff I got going on right now. Like, pretty spot on.
You're just trying to be very nice and because you don't like to rock the boat. You don't like to deal with confrontation because you have so much going on. It's like the other person or the people could like really ruin other things, what's going on in your life. And you need balance. And it's like, now's not the time for me to rock their boat, even though they're upsetting me now.
So, Artie, when I told my mom that I was coming to talk to you, she was very adamant in me asking one question, and she's been blowing up my phone nonstop for the last week about it. And it's whether or not,
the pick six, the Powerball.
She wanted to know if anybody from the other side is coming through for me.
If anybody on the other side. I don't know why I'm getting this. I get images. I don't always know why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But there was something about Mel Gibson, something with the actor of Mel Gibson, or it has to do with either they loved Mel Gibson or this fellow looked like Mel Gibson, or in one of his movies, What Women Want. I don't know what the correlation is with Mel Gibson.
Okay.
That's connected with this person. I don't know why, at least just yet.
I'm almost. It almost makes me like, it makes me curious to almost figure out, because I know she's watching, so she's kind of probably trying to piece some stuff together on her end.
Now, this also could be a problem or an issue with somebody, because Mel Gibson was also an alcoholic. He was a drunk too, and that could be the connection with somebody who passed away who liked to drink a lot.
So,
very popular person. And I don't know, for some reason, I feel like she felt like she was stuck with someone. I was stuck with this person. It's like, whether it be out of obligation, or she felt like she was stuck because she couldn't move on or do what she wanted to do. And, but she felt stuck on some level in regards to this person. Like either she couldn't be herself, or she couldn't do the things that she wanted because she felt obligated to someone that she was with or who she took care of.
So
And
I'm
why
sorry.
is there's
I'm,
something about July 13th also. There's a connection with around July 13th when somebody passed, somebody's birthday and anniversary of that is coming through.
all right.
Approximately July 13th.
All right. I'm gonna have to sit on this. This is like making me very curious. But so, um, Artie, are you do you have any big events come? We got COVID coming up, or we have COVID right now. But were you
Yeah.
planning on anything big coming shortly, or did you have any way?
Well, what I do is I do a Facebook live show where I read for people over the air every Sunday night, like I did one last night. Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's called Artie Hoffman's Angels and Answers. Angels and Answers. So I do a Facebook live show every Sunday night, and I read for people for free for an hour. And I have an assistant that's with me, and she reads all the questions that come up over the air. And I get hundreds and hundreds of questions per show, so I can only read though maybe a dozen of them per show. But I talk about life. I read for their loved ones, and that's what I do every Sunday night. And if people want to, you know, get a private reading with myself, whether it be over the phone, FaceTime, or come in person if you're around Woodbridge, New Jersey, or if you want to have an Artie party, a lot of psychic parties. Now, it's a lot of fun. Family and friends get together, and they always, when they're finished getting read by me, everyone else says, "What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?" That's what they always say. What do you say? What do you say? And they go, "Oh my God," And I tell everybody you can record your sessions. If anybody wants to get a hold of me personally, all they have to do is just give me a call at my number, 732-778-7173. And it's really cool. Or you could email me, artiehoffman@gmail. And I also have my website, artiehoffman.com. But so it's pretty interesting. The only, people say, Artie, what do you do before you do a show or before you do a party or before you do reads? I don't do really much of anything. I just meditate a little bit, and I ask for help from the spiritual world to send me all the messages, but hold on. I don't know if it's your mom's nerves or it's what she's eating, but it's like I feel like I want to crawl out of my skin. It's like she just feels uncomfortable. I get the impression like it's like she gets very antsy, and and I go back and forth from nerves to also what she's eating that like kind of stirs up her metabolism or whatnot. But I feel like her eating habits need to be better than what they have been.
Okay. I might have to talk to her and just,
Yeah, I'm already still
just trying to figure out the next step. I mean, it's
yeah. Well, because obviously, I can't talk about some stuff on the air, but we know what's going on with stuff with me. So I'm still kind of like, dang, that was so spot on. I'm like,
see, I told you I don't need to know the problems. I just feel the feelings of what's going on underneath the scenes because that's what counts.
Yeah,
that's what counts as far as dealing with it. So you need to start. The healthy thing is to, I mean, it's nice to be nice, but I put a post up a couple of weeks ago, and it said, "How can you be at your best if you're always putting yourself last?"
100%.
It's very important for you to take care of yourself while you're taking care of other people. And a lot of people feel guilty. Well, I feel bad, other people need it more than me. And, screw that. It's like, yeah, you help out other people, you help out yourself too. And don't feel bad. And a lot of people, when they have time on their own, they go, oh, I feel like I should be doing something. Why? Why don't you just relax, chill out, and have a good time for yourself? Why do you always have to do everything for everyone else? They'll pull magic out of their hat for everybody else. They'll pull, spend money they don't have for everyone else. But when it comes to themselves, nah, I don't need it. Nah, that's okay. And then as soon as somebody needs something or wants something, they end up, there you go, there you go, there you go.
Yeah.
And again, people put themselves last, and then they cry when they say, well, life sucks, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough of this. Yeah, because you give all your resources away. You give too much of it away,
Yeah.
But,
so I have a question I definitely want to ask about like your career in general, but you've made me curious to ask you a follow-up, like Devin was asking about like his mom question, because you talk about sometimes you can kind of see outcomes
yeah,
to stuff. So I'm curious about something. So like short kind of gist of it is like, so
with your question, and I'll be specific with the answer.
Yeah. So I have a very stress-free job right now, but low pay. And I'm kind of on my own right now with some stuff getting like separated. And so I'm leaving the stress-free, normal 40-hour job to a very back to sales that I did before, which is going to be very stressful. It's a lot of hours. I'll be working all the time, but the money's really good. So it's kind of like I'm doing the sales job, and I've been struggling with like, I don't know if I made the right choice or not. And I kind of just went for the money just because of my situation. I just needed more income coming in to be able to, support myself. So I'm curious if you can kind of see if there was like a right play or kind of that general area of stuff.
Get excited about how the person is really going to benefit from the product that you're giving them. Like, really get excited how you could benefit their life. When you're doing it for the benefit and the purpose to help out the other people and not worry about the money aspect, the money will come. If you're doing it because you are pressing to sell for money, that's why you hate it. See, I do what I do because I love helping out people. If I did it just for the money, I would be like totally stressed out also, because it's like, oh, shoot, I got to do it. I mean, there are times where I'm just tired or I don't want to read, but I put myself behind because I want to make a difference in other people's lives. So if you get more excited about your job, about how it could make a better difference in their life, and you get them excited and motivated that you're making a change and a difference in someone's life by what you're selling them, then your job is going to be exciting because your purpose is to make them happy, to benefit them. If you're constantly working on how to benefit them and not just for the holy dollar, when you're going at it because of just the money aspect, then yeah, you're going to be miserable every day. But if you're doing it like, I could really make a difference in someone else's life, that's exciting. And then they will naturally want to give to you. You want to treat every person like they're your best friend. And I'm not saying blowing smoke up their ass and just throwing them a bunch of lines. But I'm just saying, just to be your genuine self and say, man, I got something great for you. You are it really is going to make a big difference for you. And so if you really show them the pure genuineness of how you really want to make their life better and get excited on their behalf, then you're going to do very well.
I like that. So the question I kind of wanted to ask about your career in general is, obviously you do a lot of readings. People are going to have different reactions. Hold
on a second. So what I'm also getting for you, it's going to be a year and a half, 18 months from now, your finances are going to go up by an awful lot. I mean, you'll make a living up to them, but 18 months, you're really going to step up your game an awful lot. So right now we're in November. So let's go November of 21. So in the year 22, what's that? January, March, April, May. Around April, May of 22. Yeah, probably right in the middle of the spring of 22. Your finances, your career, everything is going to like really, really take off. I'm seeing thumbs up and they're showing me 18 months from now.
Okay.
So just keep doing what you're doing, but enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy what you're doing. And pace yourself, because you also have to understand, is it worth my time? Sometimes when you have to deal with very difficult personalities or situations, rather than grabbing every dollar that you can, go for the quality of life and say, is it really worth the money dealing with this irate personality or this irate circumstance? If somebody is making things more difficult for you to earn a buck, then is it really worth it? At first you might, well, I want to get as much as I can. But then after you take a few lumps, you realize you want to make life simple. You want to make life pleasurable. So if you go into your job with that attitude, like, I want to enjoy my job, I want to make this simple, pleasurable, I want to make a difference in someone's life. You're already proven that you're good at it. So now go at it with the attitude, like, I'm really going to make a difference in other people's lives to make them happier, to give them what they want. And in 18 months from now, you're going to, your level of your job, or what it is that you want to accomplish, whether it be with this program or whether it be with your other job, it's really going to go much higher. But I'm clearly seeing 18 months from now, and my timing's usually pretty darn good.
Okay. I like that. I know I know you have a firm stop coming up, so I'll ask you kind of two more general questions, and then we'll make sure we wrap up here. So what I was just going to ask is so with everything that you've done, I know you've had a lot of different experiences. So I'm curious to see, has there ever been a specific reading, whether it was positive or negative, that for some reason that really stands out in your memory as a key moment for you in your career doing this?
Well, there's two stories I'm going to tell you. One, it's in my book, Angels and Answers. And a lady came in for a reading. I read her for a half hour. I was at a party. And after the reading, she said to me, she goes, Art, I'm having a hard time actually believing you're connecting to my mother. She goes, it's true. You told me some general information. She goes, it did have to do with her. And you did give me some specific information that only had to do with her. And, I give you credit for that too. She goes, but I'm having a hard time that it's actually my mother you're giving me this information from, that you're getting this information from is my mother. You're actually talking to her. I said, I can only share with you what the spiritual world shares with me. But I believe I'm talking to your mother. So I said, now her reading was already over. And I said, all right, quickly, let me have your mother's picture one more time. Let me look at your mother's picture. So I'm looking at her mother's picture. And I said, your mom is showing me cows. She goes, what do you want me to do with that? I go, I don't know. Your mom's showing me cows. So in my eyes' mind, all the cows got up and I saw them all mooing. So I looked at her and I said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I looked at her and I said, moo. And she started to cry and she's pointing to her mother's picture. And I go, what's the matter? And she goes, that's her name. I go, what are you talking about? Her name's Muriel, but everyone called her Moo.
Oh, dang.
Wow. That's crazy. That's
that
really intense.
Dang. Yeah, that's that's pretty crazy.
So I would probably say my favorite number one story of all the thousands of people that I've read. There was a fellow who called me up and he says, Art, he goes, I need to talk to you real soon. He goes, I'm very depressed. He says, I'm not happy at all with my life and I'm very depressed. Can I see you soon? And I could tell in his voice, he was very shaken up. And I said, yeah. So I said, come in to see me tomorrow. So he came into my place the next day. And I wasn't talking to him right away about his problems. I was explaining things to him about life itself. I was explaining things to him about how life operates behind the scenes. I was explaining to him about the pure meaning of God and the angels and why things are the way they are. And I started to explain the meaning of his life and the purpose of his life and how he should be dealing with family members and how he should be more so dealing with himself. And I gave him a lot of profound, beautiful answers. again, without knowing the details of his life. But I started talking to him right away about life itself and his life on a very deep level. And so it made him feel much, much better about himself. And I gave him a much better perspective on life and his life. And his energy did a 180-degree turnaround. And after the reading was over, he shook my hand and gave me a big hug. And he had, a couple of tears in his eyes. And he says, Art, you saved my life. And, and a lot of people say that to me, Artie, you're a lifesaver. You're great. You're blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh, I'm glad I could help you. He goes, no, you don't understand. You really saved my life. He goes, I wrote a suicide note and I was going to kill myself tomorrow. He goes, but after talking to you, he goes, I don't want to do that anymore. He goes, I'm going to live. So,
Wow.
I've helped a lot of people change their lives, and I'm sure I've saved other people's lives, but that was the most profound moment, that of clarification, testimony, whatever, that I did save someone's life from, just giving somebody a healthier perspective about themselves, about their relationship with their family members, and about life itself. But when you have an understanding why you're doing what you're doing, it helps you do something, a hard job, much easier because it has purpose. You know why you're doing this bullshit job or a bullshit situation because you understand the meaning of your actions. But if you're just doing your life or doing actions, and I just said to you, just go ahead and just do it. Why am I digging this hole? Just do it. It just needs to be I'll talk to you later about it. Just do it. You're hot, you're tired, you're hungry. And it's like you don't understand the meaning or why things are the way they are. When you don't have an understanding and you're going through the motions of doing something you don't want to do, it sucks. But when you have an understanding to the purpose and the meaning of your actions, of life, or whatever, then it makes it that much easier, better, more fulfilling. So I give people their meaning and purpose of life, or an understanding.
Yeah.
Or why are you still with that bitch?
No, I like that. Devin, I know we gotta wrap up here, but Artie, I know you mentioned a couple things, like your book and everything. So we'll make sure we post some links so people can check you out and send you emails and everything. Is your book available? Is that Amazon, or can they go to your website for that? Or
yeah, well, Amazon, you can get everything that God has created on earth through Amazon.
True. Yeah.
You name it. No, but this is my book right here.
Okay.
Angels and Answers. That's what the book looks like.
Okay.
All right. So you can get it on my website, artiehoffman.com. I promise you, you read this book. It's a small book. I promise you read this book. It's gonna give you. You're gonna think I wrote this book just for you. Swear to God, you're gonna think it's gonna give you such a deep understanding about spirituality, about life, about your life. It's gonna give you a lot of understanding why things are the way they are, and when you have an understanding, then it's great. It's really good, and it explains about there's 12 saints and angels within this book, and I give the sinew and the understanding with those saints and angels, and it's really cool. And I'm not saying that just because I wrote it that you should read it. I mean that's a plus, that's a perk, but seriously, you're going to have like a lot of aha moments, and it's going to change your perception about life itself and about your life when you look at things from a healthier perspective. And that's what it's about. And it's an easy read book too. And you get it on Kindle too. So
Okay.
it's really cool. You'll really, really enjoy it. So,
Awesome.
like I said, if somebody wants a private reading for myself in person or over the phone, you could always call me at 732-778-7173. And I do events, I do fundraisers, and you'll see I'm pretty entertaining. I'm like, I don't know if you know Teresa Caputo, she's the Long Island medium. And so I'm like her and Billy Crystal all wrapped up in one when I do the show.
And then every Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, you're also live on your Facebook page as well, correct?
Yeah, Angels and Answers. Yeah, I do a show, and I do that for free for the audience, for the people, and again, I connect to a lot of people's loved ones, and I tell people about their love life. Like this one, you'll appreciate. Like, when girls ask me, Artie, do you see me getting pregnant soon? Or, I've been trying. Do you see me getting pregnant soon? I go, yeah. When you stop watching me and get in the bedroom, your odds go way up.
Well, Artie, me and Mark, we want to say thank you again for coming in,
Yeah, for
letting us
sure.
interview you and talking with us, reading us. You definitely blew our mind, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's my pleasure. It was fun.
Yeah,
And-
definitely.
Good times.
And to everybody out there, we want to say thank you again for tuning in. We will be posting this podcast at a later date. If you had missed it, if you would like to support me or Mark at our podcast, please check out buymeacoffee.com/fandom podcast. You can also find me and Mark on Facebook, Twitter, Mark's Instagram, or our Twitch accounts. As for our little thing that we give at the end of everything, sometimes our fandoms will take us in places we didn't know existed, and some people can help us find those places. So please open your mind to something new. Other than that, you guys, we want to say thank you again, and we'll check you later.
Thank you
Rolling
very
credits.
much.
See you guys.
Take care.